What if I told you that the story of Russia began not in Moscow, but with a Viking? That centuries before communism, tsars, or the Cold War, a single Norse warrior laid the foundation for what would become the largest country on Earth. From the mysterious rise of the Rurik dynasty to the explosive Russian Revolution that shattered centuries of imperial rule, Russia's story is not just long, it's legendary. In just 5 minutes, we'll journey through over 1,000 years of Russian history, filled with ambition, betrayal, wars, and revolutions. Let's uncover the secrets from Rurik to revolution. The year is 862 AD. In the forests of Eastern Europe, Slavic tribes are divided, plagued by internal conflict. To restore order, they invite a Viking chieftain named Rurik from the north to rule them. He settles in Novgorod, establishing what historians call the Rurik dynasty, the first ruling family of Russia. Though Rurik himself ruled only briefly, his legacy was monumental. His descendants would go on to unify the Slavic lands and build the foundations of the Kievan Rus, the first real Russian state. Under Rurik's successor, Oleg, the capital moved to Kiev, and the region began flourishing through trade with the Byzantine Empire. By the 10th century, Prince Vladimir the Great embraced Christianity, baptizing the entire nation in 988 AD. This moment wasn't just spiritual, it was strategic. By aligning with Byzantium, Russia gained cultural prestige, literacy, and Orthodox faith, key pillars of Russian history that still endure. But like many medieval states, Kievan Rus wasn't built to last. In the 13th century, the Mongols came like thunder. Led by Batu Khan, Genghis Khan's grandson, the Mongols devastated the Russian lands. Kiev was reduced to ashes in 1240, and the Rus princes became vassals of the Golden Horde. However, in the shadows of devastation, Moscow began to rise. Its princes, especially Ivan I and Ivan III, grew wealthy by collecting tribute for the Mongols. Eventually, Moscow grew powerful enough to break free. By the late 1400s, Ivan III, known as Ivan the Great, declared independence and began uniting the Russian lands under one banner. In 1547, Ivan IV, or Ivan the Terrible, became the first crowned Tsar of Russia. He expanded Russian territory dramatically, but ruled with paranoia and brutality. After his death, Russia fell into chaos, what became known as the Time of Troubles. This ended in 1613 with the rise of the Romanov dynasty, which would rule for over 300 years. Then came Peter the Great in the 18th century. A visionary and a tyrant, Peter modernized Russia, built St. Petersburg, and turned the country into a European power. Later, Catherine the Great expanded the empire even further and established Russia as a force in global politics. Yet, behind the palace walls, unrest brewed. The 19th century was a time of contradiction. Russia was vast, powerful, and rich in resources. But the majority of Russians lived in poverty. The serfs, essentially peasants bound to the land, lived under near-feudal conditions until their emancipation in 1861. But freedom didn't bring prosperity. Industrialization came late and unevenly. Political reform was slow. Radical ideas spread. Then came World War I, where Russia's military failures and food shortages deepened public anger. By 1917, it all reached a boiling point. In March 1917, protests erupted in Petrograd, now St. Petersburg. The military mutinied, the government collapsed, and Tsar Nicholas II, the last Romanov, abdicated. The Rurik dynasty's legacy, carried for over a millennium through the tsars, was no more. Later that year, in November, Vladimir Lenin and the Bolsheviks led a second revolution. They stormed the Winter Palace, overthrew the provisional government, and established the world's first communist state. It was the dawn of Soviet Russia, born in revolution, shaped by ideology and forever changed by its past. From Viking chieftains to emperors, from golden churches to red revolutions, the history of Russia is a saga of power, resilience, and transformation. If you found this journey fascinating, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Unrevealed Facts, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a story that shaped the world. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep uncovering the unknown.